Chapter 1. The Village of Skydale. Elara Windrider was an ordinary girl with an extraordinary gift. Born in the quaint village of Skydale, nestled on a floating island in the middle of the Aeolorian skies, she had always felt a deep connection to the wind. While other children played in the fields, Elara would spend hours on the cliffs, listening to the breeze as it whispered secrets only she could hear. Skydale was a peaceful place, untouched by the conflicts of the larger world. The villagers were simple folk, farmers, weavers, and craftsmen who lived in harmony with the floating islands and the skies above. Yet there was something about Elara that set her apart. Her golden hair flowed like a cascade of sunlight, and her eyes, the color of the clearest sky, seemed to hold a depth of knowledge beyond her years. One day, as Elara wandered along the cliffs, she noticed something unusual, a faint glimmer of light emanating from a crevice in the rocks. Curious, she squeezed through the narrow opening and found herself in a hidden cave. Inside, the walls were lined with ancient runes, and in the center of the cave stood a pedestal, upon which lay a dusty, old scroll. As Elara approached, the wind picked up, swirling around her. She reached out and touched the scroll, feeling a surge of energy course through her veins. The runes on the walls began to glow, and the scroll unfurled, revealing a prophecy written in a language she had never seen before. Yet, somehow, she understood every word. The last of the Skyborn shall awaken, when the winds of fate have woven their threads, and the chosen shall rise to reclaim the skies, uniting the realms under the banner of the storm. Elara's heart raced as the wind whispered a single word in her ear. Skyborn. Chapter 2. The Awakening. In the days that followed, Elara could think of nothing else but the prophecy. The word Skyborn echoed in her mind, stirring something deep within her. She had always known she was different, but now she felt a sense of purpose, a calling that she could not ignore. Elara sought out the village elder, a wise woman named Seraphine, who was known for her knowledge of the old ways. Seraphine listened intently as Elara recounted her discovery and showed her the scroll. The Skyborn, Seraphine murmured, her eyes widening in surprise. It is said that they were the guardians of the skies, protectors of Aeloria. But they disappeared long ago, leaving behind only legends. If what you say is true, then the prophecy is real, and you, Elara, may be the one to fulfill it. But how can that be? Elara asked, her voice trembling with uncertainty. I'm just a girl from Skydale. How can I possibly be the one to awaken the Skyborn? The wind has chosen you, Seraphine replied gently. The Skyborn's power flows through your veins, whether you realize it or not. You must trust in yourself and in the path that lies ahead. Determined to uncover the truth, Elara began to study the scroll and the ancient runes in the cave. She spent hours each day practicing her connection with the wind, learning to control its movements and harness its power. As the weeks passed, she grew stronger, her abilities blossoming in ways she had never imagined. But Elara knew she could not do this alone. She needed someone who understood the world beyond Skydale, someone who could help her navigate the challenges that lay ahead. And so, she turned to Korin Stoneheart, a blacksmith's apprentice, and one of her closest friends. Korin was a tall, broad-shouldered young man with a quiet demeanor and a deep sense of loyalty. He had always been protective of Elara, though he had never fully understood the strange connection she had with the wind. When Elara told him of the prophecy, he was skeptical at first, but he could see the determination in her eyes. If you believe in this, Elara, Korin said, then I'll stand by your side. Whatever comes, we'll face it together. And so, the two friends set out on a journey that would take them far beyond the floating islands of Skydale, into the heart of Aeloria, where the forces of destiny were already beginning to stir. Chapter 3. The City of Stormreach. The journey to Stormreach, the largest city in Aeloria, was long and treacherous. Elara and Korin traveled by airship, crossing vast expanses of sky and weaving through dangerous storm clouds. Along the way, they encountered sky pirates, fierce creatures, and other perils that tested their resolve. When they finally arrived in Stormreach, They were awestruck by the sight before them. The city was a marvel of engineering, with towering spires, bustling marketplaces, and bridges that connected the floating islands. Airships of all shapes and sizes filled the skies, and the streets were alive with people from every corner of Aeloria. But beneath the surface, Stormreach was a city on the brink of chaos. Rumors of the Skyborn's return had spread like wildfire, sparking fear and uncertainty among the populace. The ruling council, a group of powerful wind mages, struggled to maintain order, while various factions vied for control. Elara and Korin sought an audience with the council, hoping to find allies who could help them fulfill the prophecy. But they soon discovered that not everyone in Stormreach was eager to see the Skyborn return. Some feared the power they once wielded, while others saw an opportunity to seize control of Aeloria for themselves. As Elara and Korin navigated the complex politics of Stormreach, they encountered a mysterious figure named Zephyr, a rogue wind mage with his own agenda. Zephyr claimed to have knowledge of the Skyborn and offered to help them in their quest, but his true motives remained unclear. Tensions reached a boiling point when a faction of sky pirates, led by the ruthless Captain Thorn, launched an attack on the city, seeking to capture Elara and use her to gain control of the winds. In the ensuing battle, Elara was forced to unleash her newfound powers, summoning a powerful storm that drove the pirates back but left the city in ruins. Shaken by the destruction she had caused, Elara began to doubt herself. She questioned whether she was truly meant to fulfill the prophecy, or if she was merely a pawn in a larger game. But Korin and Zephyr encouraged her to stay the course, reminding her that the fate of Aeloria rested in her hands.
With Stormreach in chaos and enemies closing in from all sides, Elara knew that she had no choice but to continue her journey. The prophecy had foretold that the Skyborn would rise again, and she was determined to see it through, no matter the cost. Chapter 4 The Lost City of Erit. Leaving the shattered city of Stormreach behind, Elara, Korin, and Zephyr set out in search of the lost city of Erit, the ancient capital of the Skyborn. According to legend, Erit was hidden somewhere in the uncharted skies, its location known only to those who could read the winds. The journey was perilous, as they ventured into regions of Aeloria where few dared to go. They encountered storms that raged with unnatural fury, airships that had been abandoned for centuries, and creatures that seemed to be remnants of a forgotten age. Along the way, Elara's powers continued to grow, and she began to experience visions of the past memories of the Skyborn who had lived and died in Erit. She saw their rise to power, their conflicts with other realms, and the events that had led to their downfall. But most of all, she felt their longing for redemption, their hope that one day, a descendant would rise to restore their legacy. After many weeks of searching, the group finally discovered the entrance to Erit, hidden within a massive storm system that had kept the city concealed for centuries. As they approached, the winds parted, revealing a breathtaking sight, a city of gleaming spires and golden domes, floating high above the clouds. But Erit was not the thriving metropolis it had once been. The city was in ruins, its streets overgrown with vines and its buildings crumbling from centuries of neglect. Yet, there was still a sense of power lingering in the air, as if the very stones of Erit remembered the greatness of the Skyborn. As Elara explored the city, she felt a deep connection to the place, as if she had been here before in another life. She was drawn to the central palace, where she found a massive throne room filled with statues of the Skyborn's greatest leaders. In the center of the room stood a massive stone altar, upon which rested a glowing crystalline artifact of immense power known as the Heart of Erit. The crystal pulsed with energy, and as Elara approached, it began to resonate with the power inside her. The Heart of Erit, Zephyr whispered, is a white with tau. It is said that this crystal contains the essence of the Skyborn, their hopes, their dreams, their very souls. If you can harness its power, Elar, you may be able to reawaken the Skyborn and fulfill the prophecy. But as Elar reached out to touch the crystal, a voice echoed through the chamber, a voice filled with sorrow and regret. Who dares disturb the slumber of the Skyborn? Elar froze, her hand hovering above the crystal. The voice seemed to come from all around her, resonating through the walls and the very air itself. I am Elara Windrider, she replied, her voice trembling. I have come to fulfill the prophecy and reawaken the Skyborn. There was a long silence, and then the voice spoke again, so after this time. Elara Windrider, the last of the Skyborn. You bear our blood, and you carry our legacy. But know this, child, our power is not a gift, but a burden. It comes with great responsibility, and the fate of Aeloria will rest on your shoulders. I understand, Elara said, her resolve hardening. I am ready to accept that responsibility. The voice sighed, and the crystal began to glow brighter, filling the room with a brilliant light. Then take the heart of a reed, and let the winds of destiny guide you. But beware, for there are those who would seek to use your power for their own ends. Trust in yourself, and in those who stand by your side. Elara nodded, and with a deep breath, she placed her hand on the crystal. The moment she did, a surge of energy flowed through her, filling her with the power of the Skyborn. She felt her connection to the wind deepen, and her mind was flooded with knowledge and memories from ages past. But as the power filled her, Elara also felt a sense of sadness, a mourning for a word that had been lost, and a burden of responsibility that weighed heavily on her heart. When the light finally faded, Elara stood in the center of the throne room, the heart of a reed glowing swiftly in her hands. She was no longer the same girl who had left Skydale. She was the last of the Skyborn, and her destiny was now intertwined with the fate of Aeloria. Chapter 5, The Rebellion. With the heart of a reed in her possession, Elara knew that her journey was far from over. She still had to unite the realms of Aeloria and reawaken the Skyborn's power within her. But as she prepared to leave a reed, she discovered that the city was not as abandoned as she had thought. Hidden within the shadows of the ruins was a group of rebel survivors of the Skyborn's downfall who had been living in secrecy for centuries. They were led by an elderly woman named Lysandra, who revealed that she had been waiting for Elara's arrival. You are the one we have been waiting for, Lysandra said, her voice filled with reverence. The last of the Skyborn, the one who will restore our people to their rightful place in the skies. Elara was overwhelmed by the weight of their expectations, but she knew that she could not turn back now. She had a responsibility to the people of Aeloria, and she was determined to see the prophecy fulfilled. But not everyone in the rebellion was as welcoming as Lysandra. There were those who were skeptical of Elara's abilities, questioning whether she was truly the one foretold by the prophecy. Tensions rose as factions within the rebellion began to argue over the best course of action. Korin and Zephyr did their best to support Elara, but they could see that she was struggling under the pressure. The burden of leadership was heavy, and Elara was still grappling with the power she had inherited from the Skyborn. As the rebels prepared for a final assault on the city of Stormmarch, Elara found herself torn between her desire to fulfill the prophecy and her fear of what might happen if she failed. She knew that the outcome of the battle would determine the future of Aeloria, and she could not afford to make any mistakes. The night before the battle, Elara retreated to the highest tower of a reed, where she could be alone with her thoughts. As she stood on the balcony, looking out over the vast expanse of sky, she felt the wind brush against her skin, comforting and familiar. For the first time since she had discovered the prophecy, Elara allowed herself to see ROI. The weight of her responsibility, yes, the fear of the unknown, and the loss of her old life in Skydale all came crashing down on her. But as the tears fell, Elara also felt a sense of resolve. She was not just fighting for herself, but for all of Aeloria. The Skyborn had entrusted her with their legacy, and she would not let them down. When morning came, Elara was ready. She descended from the tower, her eyes filled with determination, and addressed the rebels who had gathered in the courtyard below. "We fight for our future," she said, her voice strong and unwavering. "We fight for the Skyborn, and for the people of Aeloria. Together, we will reclaim the skies and bring peace to our world." The rebels cheered, their doubts erased by Elara's words. And with that, they set out for Stormmarch, ready to face whatever challenges awaited them. Chapter 6: The Battle of Stormmarch. The final battle for Aeloria took place in the skies above Stormmarch. The city, once a symbol of anarchy and progress, had become a battleground where the fate of the world would be decided. Elara led the charge, her powers fully reawakened by the heart of Erit. She soared through the skies, the wind bending to her will as she guided the rebels into battle. The forces of Stormmarch, bolstered by the Wind Mages and the remnants of Captain Harness Sky Pirates, were formidable, but Elara was determined to see the prophecy fulfilled. The battle raged for hours, with airships clashing in the skies and warriors battling on the floating islands. Elara's powers were a force to be reckoned with, but she soon realized that she could not win this fight alone. As the tide of battle began to turn against them, Elara called upon the rebels to unite their strength. Together, they channeled the power of the wind, creating a massive storm that engulfed the battlefield. Lightning flashed, thunder roared, and the very skies seemed to tremble as the forces of nature unleashed their fury. But even as the storm raged, Elara knew that the true test of her power was yet to come. The Wind Mages, realizing that they could not defeat her through a force alone, had begun to weave a powerful spell, a spell that could shatter the very fabric of the skies and bring Aeloria to its knees. Elara knew that she had to stop them, but the spell was too powerful for her to counter on her own. She needed the full power of the Skyborn, the power that lay dormant within her. In a moment of desperation, Elara reached out to the heart of Erit, drawing upon its energy with all her might. She felt the presence of the Skyborn within her, their voices guiding her, lending her their strength. And then, in a blinding flash of light, Elara unleashed the full force of the Skyborn's power. The winds howled, the skies opened, and the spell of the Wind Mages was torn apart by a wave of pure energy. The battle was over. The forces of Stormmarch were defeated, and the skies were once again under the control of the Skyborn. But the victory came at a cost. Elara, exhausted by the strain of using such immense power, collapsed on the battlefield. Korin and Zephyr rushed to her side, their hearts heavy with fear. But as they knelt beside her, they saw that she was still breathing, her chest rising and falling with each labored breath. Elara had survived, but she had paid a heavy price for her victory. The power of the Skyborn had taken its toll on her, and she knew that she would never be the same again. Chapter 7: The Dawn of a New Age. The aftermath of the battle was bittersweet. Stormmarch was in ruins, its people scattered, and the once great city lay in shambles. But the prophecy had been fulfilled, and the Skyborn had returned to the skies. Elara, though weakened by the battle, had proven herself as the true heir of the Skyborn. She had united the people of Aeloria, defeated their enemies, and restored balance to the world. But Elara knew that her journey was not yet over. The power of the Skyborn was still within her, and she felt a responsibility to get Aeloria into a new era of peace and prosperity. With Korin and Zephyr by her side, Elara set out to rebuild what had been lost. They traveled across Aeloria, helping to restore the floating islands, rebuild cities, and forge alliances between the different realms. In time, the people of Aeloria began to look to Elara as their leader, a symbol of hope and strength. She became known as the Wind Queen, a title that she accepted with humility and grace. Under Elara's leadership, Aeloria entered a new age of anarchy and prosperity. The skies, once a place of conflict and danger, became a symbol of freedom and opportunity. The Skyborn, though still shrouded in mystery, were honored as the protectors of the realm, their legacy preserved for future generations. But Elara never forgot the sacrifices that had been made to achieve this peace. She carried the memories of the battle with her always, a reminder of the cost of power and the responsibilities that came with it. As the years passed, Elara grew older, her hair turning silver, and her eyes reflecting the wisdom of a life well lived. But the power of the Skyborn remained within her, a constant reminder of the destiny she had fulfilled. And so, the chronicles of Aeloria came to an end, with the awakening of the Skyborn and the dawn of a new age. But the story of Elara Windrider, the last of the Skyborn, would live on in the hearts of the people of Aeloria for generations to come. Epilogue, the legacy of the Skyborn. Many years after the Battle of Stormmarch, Elara stood on the balcony of her palace, looking out over the skies of Aeloria. The world had changed since the days of her youth, but the wind still carried the same whispering secrets that she had first heard as a girl. As she gazed out at the horizon, Elara felt a sense of peace. She had fulfilled her destiny, and Aeloria was a better place because of it. But she also knew that her time was coming to an end. The power of the Skyborn, which had sustained her for so long, was beginning to fade, and she felt the pull of the winds, calling her home. Elara turned to Korin and Zephyr, who had stood by her side through all the trials and tribulations. They had become more than just friends, they were her family, born together by the trials they had faced. It's time, Elara said swiftly, her voice filled with a mixture of sadness and contentment. Korin and Zephyr nodded, understanding what she meant. They had known this day would come, and though they were sad to see her go, they knew that Elara's legacy would live on. Elara closed her eyes, feeling the wind envelop her, lifting her up into the sky. She felt her body becoming lighter, the weight of her years falling away as she ascended into the heavens. As she rose higher and higher, Elara felt a sense of freedom unlike anything she had ever known. She was no longer bound by the years, no longer weighed down by the responsibilities of leadership. She was one with the wind, one with the Skyborn, and she knew that she was finally home. And so, Elara Windrider, the last of the Skyborn, became a part of the very winds she had once commanded. Her spirit joined the chorus of voices that whispered through the skies of Aeloria, guiding future generations and reminding them of the power and responsibility that came with the legacy of the Skyborn. The people of Aeloria mourned the loss of their beloved Wind Queen, but they also celebrated her life and the peace she had brought to their world. Statues were erected in her honor, and her story was passed down through the ages, a testament to the strength of the human spirit and the power of destiny. And so, the chronicles of Aeloria ended as they had begun, with the winds of fate weaving their threads through the skies, carrying the legacy of the Skyborn to all who would listen.